guess I'm recording here. This is my room. This is before I'm going to paint my wall. This right here is I traced from my big drawing. So I made a big drawing. And then that's the transparency right there. And over here, the overhead projector. I had my mom bring home from school. And I'm trying to work it so it'll fit on this wall. Over here, that's me. See? So hopefully next time you see this wall, it'll be painted if I can get it to work, because it's not really turned out too good because it's kind of big right now. This is the same wall you saw before. See this corner here? I'm going to have to find something for that great big shadow right there. Right there is all the stuff that came off that wall. And I'm wearing my Sonic Youth shirt that I got at the concert February 16th, 1991. I think I might put in some Sonic Youth music. Those are all my Sonic Youth tapes, but I don't think they're in focus. So the date on there is wrong. Today's really May 16th, 1990. Okay. The first drawing I ever tried was a Jane's Addiction thing, and that was From Nothing Shocking. I drew the two heads, and yours was the second. I think it turned out pretty darn good. See? And I even got that little thing down there. I drew. I think it turned out pretty good for like my second try ever drawing something. I know I really should paint the wall white first, but I want to make sure I can fit this on before I start to paint anything. So, I can only use a pencil. My parents won't let me use a marker because then they said it'll leave an imprint on the wall. And that's kind of true because when I was little I painted Bert and Ernie and all those guys on the wall that's right behind the camera right now. I think your video for Cool Thing is really, really cool with all the tinfoil and shit. My parents were like, what if you don't like Sonic Youth in here? I said that I guess I'll just have to live with it, but I'm positive I'll always like Sonic Youth. This looks really neat, I think. Just being on my wall like this. My dad's gonna come home and flip out. I saw your concert with Neil Young and Crazy Horse and Social Distortion. Social Distortion surprised me because I usually like them. They didn't put on a good show, I thought. I thought they were really boring. Now, I wasn't really a Neil Young fan. I never really listened to him. And I thought he put on a really, really cool concert. And you guys were awesome, of course, like just as I expected. But you didn't play long enough. So I'm hoping that you have like a real concert where you don't open up for anyone and you just really play. I want you guys to come like and hold a real concert for a long time because you didn't play long enough. I was disappointed because you didn't play Mary Christ at our concert. I was kind of in the mood for that night. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with me tracing this whole wall, but at least it gives me someone to talk to while I'm doing it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a coat of white over it so I can see the black under it, and then I'm going to draw over it, trace where you can see the black marker. It should show through. Just got done painting my closet black. And inside my closet it's going to go my black light doors poster and a black light, which is right there. This is me when I'm working. My nice black hands from painting. Listening to Daydream Nation. Just put it in for the videotape. I think that's all I'm going to tape for today. Okay, I changed my mind. Decided I will tape a little bit more for today. I wrote an essay today on why you're the best band in the world for extra credit in English because I don't think I'm doing so good in that class. I don't know why. I used to be really smart when I was little. I still am, but I just don't have time for things. This is one of my favorite tapes, Daydream Nation. Goo is my favorite, even though like that's your latest. I don't want to sound lame like I'm some trendy little person who who just decided to start listening to you when they saw the video for Cool Thing. That is the case. I saw a video for Cool Thing because I'd never listened to you before. But I think I'm doing pretty darn good. That's all I'm really going to take for today. Now I'm going to go back to work and I'm going to try and finish this tonight. My room has gone through so many changes. Like when I was really little, I was in 2nd grade, I think. 2nd grade, I loved the Beatles. So I had like Beatles shit all over the place. Then it was Michael Jackson's. That was when he was big and popular. Then I turned into like a little metalhead in 5th and 6th grade. Twisted Sister was my favorite crew. And then I liked Rat a lot and Motley Crue. This is gonna look really cool, I think. Okay, 7th grade I changed to liking stuff as lame as Tiffany. Tiffany and George Michael were my 7th grade stage. And then I just slowly started like staying away from the lame stuff. And today's not January 4th, 1989, it's May 30th, 1991. I'm standing on my waterbed, so if I fall, then I'm in trouble. Now I just had to finish this off so I could be ready to send this. I'll just sit down in my closet and say goodbye. I look like a real prep right now because of the way I'm dressed, but this is the first week we've had nice weather, and I live in a shitty little town that has terrible weather. Please come and meet me, because everybody thinks I'm an idiot for trying to meet you this way. They think that it's stupid and they think that I won't. I told them what good people you are, and if you're not going to meet me, at least give me a call. If you even call me, I'll give you directions to my house. I'd sit there and give you directions now. Well, maybe I could. Okay, like when you get to the Buffalo airport, you just I'm not even sure where the airport is. But just get onto the thruway, going south towards Olean. Then you'll hit Yorkshire. Once you get into Yorkshire, there's a Burger King. And when you see the Burger King, well, first there's a light. There's a little road, and on the last White House on the left, we have a gazebo on the lawn. I don't know what else is on this tape. I think I taped over one of my Ma's Young and Restless tapes. Yippee. But even if you don't meet me, I'm not going to hate you. You'll still be my favorite group. Well, anyway, I'm just going to say goodbye for now. It was nice making the tape for you, and I had a lot of fun. And my wall will always stay the way it is. Goodbye.
Alright, I'm Spike, and I'm going to show you some photos today of Sonic Youth, and I wish I had more, but my negatives are very disorganized, so I apologize, but I'll show you what I got, and I also have a cold, so I'm a little also out of it and stony, but here we go. I met Kim just briefly, I remember once on New York's, on the street, on West Broadway or something, but then maybe a year or two later, it was right when the album Dirty came out, I got a message on my machine from her, and I was surprised that she even knew who I was, but she called because Mark Gonzalez had given her a copy of the Blind video that we'd done, a skate video, and so she called to ask if I would help film some skating for this video they were doing. So I called her back, I was all excited, and she told me what they were doing, and told me to call this woman, Tamara Davis, who was directing the video, and I called Tamara, and she, was like, yeah, great, and she was really enthusiastic and just told me I could come hang out with her the whole time she made it, and I went and just hung out with her as they made the video, and Tamara showed me sort of ran through all the basic things that I'd never even heard of, location scouting and telecine and stuff like that. And so, anyways, this was these photos I shot on while they were shooting the band performing at this house on Gower, and it was just with this old plastic camera I had. Up until then I'd never even shot a film camera. I just shot video, shot all on video and Hi8, We made roller skate videos on high eight. I was just remember being really nervous, like totally out of my element. I remember paying attention a lot to how the DP, his name was Mike Spiller, just like him putting huge lights outside the window and like just to make it look like daylight was coming in, and being really surprised that that's how natural it looked. Even though if you walked around the corner, it looked like this huge fake light. It's weird, yeah. Definitely seeing them before I knew them. It was very mysterious. Like Kim, sort of, the way she sings and her voice, and getting to know them. I just think about like when they played at the Santa Monica Civic Center, and just like seeing a lot of people I knew that I'd gotten to know through them, and they were all there, and it felt very like sort of family-like and like very relaxed, and it didn't feel all serious like at the backstage of a concert where everybody would be all like checking each other out. It felt very low key and cool and nice and sweet. So I mean, when we shot the video, then it was like this strange thing because I'd never even been on a video set before, like where the bands just sit there and play the song over and over again, lip sync to it, and mime playing the guitars and all that. It was really it was fun, and it was fun to just like to see them do it. And that's me back then. Kim asked me to shoot the skating and then also to be in it, so that was like my duty. And Jason Lee was in the video with me, and this was like his first acting thing he ever did, actually. Like me and Jason, I guess me and Guy Mariano, we were friends, and Jason died, got shot, and I've got to act like I see him dead in the grass. That was crazy that they asked me to be in it too. That was really so insane. But Jason did a good job. I mean, we were all really excited. It was just me and Jason. And Guy was probably excited, but he wouldn't show it. The guy's so low key. He's like, it's cool, he was more like whatever. But I mean, the acting part was more embarrassed about, like because I just felt so self conscious. And that's Tamara right here with Rufus. Back then, she'd edit it herself sometimes, and she'd just rent a edit system and bring it into her house. And so she'd let me edit it with her, and there'd be days where she'd just leave me alone at her house, and I'd edit together stuff, and she'd come home at night and I'd show her stuff. And so basically it was like a crash course in how to make a video, from like the location scouting, casting, hiring a crew, shooting it, working with a DP, telecine, and editing, like all the way through. It was sort of like in 3 weeks I got to sort of tag along with her as she made the video. I guess I got to know Kim and Thurston the best, and then I guess after that, Kim Deal asked her to direct the video for Cannonball when the Last Splash was coming out, and Kim asked me if I wanted to co-direct that with her. It was pretty random that Kim asked me to be involved in the first video, and then beyond that asked me to help her direct the Breeders videos. She had the feeling that she was also just so low-key about it, so it just goes with her gut. And you think about all the different people she's had involved in all their different projects. But I don't know, with Kim, like, she'd tell me a lot about like old films or reference, films from the 60s, like some sort of obscure sort of art movies and directors that I'd never heard of. And they were really into photography and art, and so I don't know. So by sort of hanging out with them or going to their apartment, and looking at photo books or art books or something, I'd learn a lot about like different artists and different photographers and different directors, and and different music and bands too. And it was always fun to go by their apartment in New York and see what just weird, obscure art magazines they'd have, or or look at Thurston's record collection. But I mean, that's like Kim and Thurston. They just taking everything in and processing. It's like they're like curators almost. They're just like taking it in, then like disseminating back to the people and friends of theirs that telling Jay Mascis about the photo for the cover of the Green Mind record, or Thurston recommending the book Virgin Suicides to Sophia, and turning her onto that book. And like they have their antennas out at all times, and they're so interested and curious in in all mediums. And so it's always inspiring to talk to them about stuff, or educational to just go look at their photo books at their house. Or what else did I learn? I learned the word voyeuristic from them. From Kim and Thurston, or maybe that was Thurston's word, voyeuristic. I can't remember if it was Kim or Thurston. this one day, I had to shoot Pauly Shore for Interview Magazine, and so Daisy was the stylist, and Kim was my photo assistant. These are the suits that Daisy got for the photo shoot, and so I'll just put them on. But it was really hilarious. Like Pauly Shore was like totally hitting on Daisy and being all like rude, and it was just and Pauly Shore's dad too, who was like an old time comedian. But that was when they'd come out, they would just like stay at my apartment, and we'd just I don't know, it was very like sort of low key. Like the way Kim would make stuff would just sort of be like she just sort of let stuff happen, and she had ideas. And like for that first Cannonball video, she told me like about this movie called Performance, where in certain scenes there's mirrors on the wall and you can see the crew, and that was sort of what she was referencing. And so I watched that, and I don't know, it was fun. It was fun. It was also fun because they were like my roommates, and like asking about girls and stuff like that, and like asking about like trying to understand girls or like confusion about it, girls, and so it's fun having two girl roommates for a while. Maybe I don't know when this is, but this is probably like when they did the video for Bull and Heather, and I just stopped by, and Tamara was directing it again, and Kim was pregnant. This was when Kim was pregnant with Coco. Kathleen Hanna was there. She's like running around in the video, sort of pixie. She needed something. I forget what she needed. Something. Maybe she was staying at Tamara's house or something, and I drove her over to Tamara's house, and I had fun with her, just talking to her, because she's a total character and really funny. Oh, there's Lance. Yeah, this actually, I'd only met him a couple times, and I hadn't started working with him yet, but I'd heard about him a lot through like friends, and he was a cinematographer at the time that was starting to do videos and commercials, and he was a skater and sort of art school kind of kid. But anyways, I think this might have been the first time I met him face to face, maybe, or if not, it was the first time I met him sober, and not drunk on Leather Street. I met a lot of people through them, always interesting people, and like right after this we started working together all the time, and like now I've been working with him for 10 years, and he shot both the movies I did, and so anyways, he's like super babyface here. There's Kim pregnant, Coco in there, and there's Tamara making it all happen. There's Lance shooting the video. I like this video. This is a good video too. It's real dreamy. I love like that, and the boy putting nail polish on the girl's hand at one point, and then Kathleen Hanna is like running around while they're performing and like fucking with everybody, and it's a good video. It's really good. It's funny because when I went by this, now that I think about it, I went by and it was super laid back. Like I went by and it was like hours went by. It felt like when I got there, it's like Steve assembling drums and like Lance tweaking all the lights, and it was just super mellow, relaxed video set. Like so unlike my video sets. I'm always super like stressed, like worried that we're not going to get everything. But then the video totally has that feel. It's got this sort of very lazy, sort of mellow feel. This must have been later that year, I guess, now, because Coco's born. This is at their apartment in New York. It's funny to see them as parents because they didn't change at all. It's not like they became like conservative or high strung or stressed out, or they're just like Kim and Thurston, but now they had a baby hanging around. Kim showing off her new baby clothes. That's Thurston's office, but you can't see it, but there's like wall-to-wall records, vinyl on every wall. And Coco.
The first Fire Hose tour was opening up for Sonic Youth in the fall of 1986. I think they called it the Flaming Telepaths tour. One of these gigs towards the end was at Hampton College in Western Massachusetts, and I would play Star Power with them, and then the rest of the Fire Hose guys would come on and we would do the Red and the Black. So at the end of this gig in Hampton College, end of doing Star Power, yeah, we'd have two basses at Sky Trip. they all tackled me. I mean, this is with the guitars on and everything. Yeah, they just jump on me and tackle me. And I have terrible knees, you know. I was born with them bad. I had surgeries in my early 20s to try to keep them from falling out. And they popped my knee out, my right knee out. I think it was Kim. You know, I remember the bass coming over, like you know, like she's gonna hit. She hit me with the bass, you know, by holding it from the neck. And it came across and knocked. But they couldn't see through my pants what happened, so they didn't know. You know, I went immediately into shock, you know, and put the knee back in and stuff, but it blew up immediately in this intense pain. So I'm hollering and screaming, and Thurston picks me up, you know, cradles me in his arms and brings me over to this chair, and they put the mic up to me. And you know, I was in shock and all this pain, and I couldn't sing the words, or I was just like, ah! And these guys thought I was just being insane. They didn't know they had dislocated my knee. Incredible pain. Incredible pain. But they're great folks.
I was amazed how committed they were. Like, a lot of indie rock bands that I would do videos for would have this sense of being embarrassed about being in a video, and they didn't do that. Like, I think they knew that if they were going to do it, they should full on commit to it.
I think that one of the things they really like to do is work with filmmakers, so that how they approach it is really about making little films for their songs. So it's like making little movies that have to do with their songs. And so they really kind of, in a sense, get creatively involved in that, but in a really fun way. I think that they really like that. It's not like, oh, we've got to look really good for this video. It's like, what could we do and who could we work with, and, you know, what does the song kind of mean to us on different levels.
I had heard Sonic Youth probably on college radio. I just thought, well, you know, who's this New York band? I was kind of curious about them. I would shoot them when I could, you know, on Super 8 film, without any real agenda, just merely as a kind of a documentation of a scene. I was just more interested in actually capturing the music and the environment and what was going on. And it wasn't a lot of money, so that freed up, you know, the whole creative process. I don't know, I guess we sort of had this like musical common ground in the beginning. Maybe that was the sort of basis of the friendship, and then it just kind of went on from there.
I was in New York writing songs for Joan Jett, and Tamara called me and wanted to hang out, and so we went to a studio, and I think it was Sonic Youth. I feel like somebody from Cheapo was there maybe, but it was like really exciting. You know, I was from Olympia, and I was like, whoa, I'm at a recording studio, there was Sonic Youth. And we became friends, and they always let us crash at their, like Bikini Kill, crash at their apartment at Kim and Thurston. And it was really great, because we kind of felt like one of the most hated bands in America at the time, in North America, and it was really great to have a band that we respected so much be nice to us.
You know, they respect filmmakers, so that, you know, they will collaborate instead of, you know, that they're not just like, okay, now this is what we want to do. They'll really want to work with you. For me, it just was amazing that, you know, it really showed me at such a young age that you can work with your friends, and then the best part about this job is that these people can end up being your friends. And I mean, I don't even remember when we did Cool Thing, but it must have been like 10 years ago. You know, like to have a friend that Kim and I are still friends for that many years.
They always were good about keeping people in, you know, pulling people in and then keeping them around. And I think they still do that. But at that time, I had just got off drugs. I'd been on drugs for years, and the $500 was actually a lot of money to me for a movie that cost me about $50 to make. It was a nice thing to just have Kim reappear, because I'd been totally out of touch for about a year and a half. Just reappear and say, hey, you want to do this?
All that wildness that we were exposed to, those first Hollywood gigs and stuff, it had kind of gone away. And so in the way the Sonic Youth people brought back this whole, well, we're going to find where the wall is by pushing against it, and not just to say, oh, it's over there. And it really revitalized us. It wasn't such a negative thing to feel old-fashioned in a way. It was a thing to ignite us, reignite us. So had huge effect on us. Time I left a message on the machine about Thurston losing some stuff, you know, couldn't remember where it was, and the next day I remembered, so I call up. This thing ends up on an album. It ends up, he made a video of it even.
I also asked me if I wanted to be like on the cover of ID after it happened, and you have to like wink, and I was like, no. That was like the only career thing. And then I remember that Aerosmith video came out with Alicia Silverstone, and I was like, man, I could have turned this into a career, but I didn't.
Yeah, I think it was just we're going to do a video for every song on the record, and then besides the ones that were singles or whatever, like the real videos that they were doing, like Cool Thing or whatever, everybody would have the exact same amount of money for their budget. I don't remember what that was. That was part of the thing also, like, wait, Curran gets the same amount of money for Scooter and Jinx as we get to fill 6.5 minutes of Titanium Expose?
I like did videos, and they're easy to do, but I really hate it, you know? I mean, I don't know. After this, I did some for, I did about 5 videos here in New York. But the whole thing of trying to do that as a career was just, it was too hard. It was too many people that wanted to do it for free.
I kind of wanted to get rid of all those idiots who were like, you know what I mean? Oh, she's not this enough and she's not that enough. And I thought, this is kind of a really good way to do it. Like, got my rent paid, got to hang out with Sonic Youth, you know, got to see what making a video was like if you're on a major label, all that kind of stuff. Plus, it's like, yeah, I got some hate mail, and people were like pissed off, and I was like, I don't want you to be in the audience when I play a show anyway. Like, those are exactly the people I wanted to stay home when we were in their town, because I was just sick of that, like, Puritan bullshit attitude. You know, like, you should have fun, and it's like, I think I've proved myself to have a lot of integrity. So why shouldn't I just do some weird thing when I feel like it? Like, it seems completely arbitrary or something like that. And besides, like, I was a dancer for money for, like, off and on for 7 years, and, like, I got to keep my clothes on and do whatever I wanted, and, like, to good music. You know, it wasn't, like, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, you know, or something like that.
I didn't even think I had to present treatments at the time. Maybe I did. I don't remember writing a treatment for these videos. I just presented them to the band liked them, and the band gave them the label, and the label said, fine. I didn't feel like I had to make anything a certain way. To me, I wanted to make them look like movies or mini movies, not like music videos. The Todd Haynes one was kind of cool, just, you know, the band in the car and all that.
I was just really excited to work with them, and I have never made a rock video with any band up to that point, and haven't since, actually. So they're my virgin experience. The timetable was tight. That was intense for me. That was a new thing compared to film in terms of the editing and producing a finished product. And I worked with my editor, Jim Lyons, and we always enjoyed a kind of improvisational way of working where there wasn't like a really rigid timeline, and we were cutting on film in those days. It wasn't like the Avid system today, where you can churn 20 versions out in no time. There was a lot more deliberation going on the way we were working, and all of a sudden we had to really produce something quickly. And I liked the first cut. I haven't seen my original cut because ultimately the cut we made was taken to the Geffen folks, and of course this was the Sonics' first time with a huge label. So they looked at our first cut, and I think we asked for some input, and I thought we had time to input some of those changes. But before we knew it, they had taken it and sort of recut it and made some changes, and that became the finished video.
I don't know, I think like somewhere around there is when I did do that re-edit of the Todd Haynes video, which was so bizarre because I guess they did like a Todd Haynes video, and you know, we all worshiped Todd Haynes at that point because he, you know, had done the Barbie doll movie. And so he did that video, and I just remember that the record company was like, this is a mess, what do we do? You know, and so I like edited it. I don't think it was that big of a difference. I think I just made it a little bit more structured than Todd's version.
Certainly understood like the situation we were in, and so it wasn't like he was angry. I just think it was just sort of it was more frustrating in a way.
But I totally remember running into Todd Haynes one time, and he was like so upset about it, like deeply troubled. And like I was you re-edited my video, you know, like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, you know, and we then became friends. But I think he was really upset about it, you know, and it happens all the time in this business that stuff gets recut or rewritten or you know, whatever. It's nothing, it was all his footage. It just was a little bit more cohesive for a different audience. But yeah, I just remember like Todd like coming after me one time somewhere.
But it was fun. It was fun to work with them, and I really found, I mean, they're just such great people, and I've stayed in touch with all of them since then. But, you know, the amazing thing about those guys is the level of quality that's been maintained over the years, whether they are with a Geffen label or independent or whatever it is. I mean, they've maintained an incredible complexity and beauty of music that just doesn't seem to cater to anything but their own instincts as creative people, you know, and then continue to branch out and do side projects as well. But it's just amazing, the consistency of those records, and seeing them live too. I've just continued to, I saw them probably about 3 years ago in Portland, and it was just a fucking amazing show.
Trippy how they complemented each other. Kim and Thurston on one side and Lee over here. We'd even used to joke about it when a new album would come out, because Lee always had the song that was usually on the first side hugging the label. There'd be the Lee song, you know? But I always thought he's kind of like the George Hurley in the Minutemen. He's something to temper the couple. You know, they toured a lot in Europe before they ever played U.S. And they finally did a U.S. tour. And they came and played the Anti-Club in Hollywood. And, you know, me and D. Boon, Georgie, we were proud of the Minutemen, you know, being kind of like this forward-thinking, experimental, trying to be, you know, wild. And we see Sonic Youth playing this. Thurston's got like screwdrivers and the guitar, you know, and he's hitting him with drumstick, and me and D. Boon felt so old-fashioned. We felt like Chuck Berry. we were totally put in our place by them.
If you ever see them play live, they're like one of the most amazing bands to see live. And Kim Gordon is just, you know, whatever, as a girl icon playing her bass, like you can't, she's such an icon. And so as a friend, it was this crazy thing of like, I'm still always like such a huge fan. And so I'd be watching her on stage and be like, oh my God, she's so amazing. And then like, I couldn't believe that she'd actually also be my friend. You know, because usually you hear about experiences where people work with people and then they never want to see them again. And then the same thing with Thurston. You'd watch Thurston play guitar and it'd be like, you can't believe how good he plays guitar. And each time I would just always be completely blown away because their stage thing is amazing. So that part was always a little bit interesting, and you know, they're so normal in person, so you'd never think it was the same people. So that part's really awesome. You know, if you do something that you know you have fun with, that you can also have a good relationship with people and that can last. So that was kind of cool.
Thanks. God bless you all.